very good morning from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. This is the White Knuckle weekend, so in March and February the park is open during the weekends 11 till 5, so we've come down today for some riding. The first theme park I've ever been to in 2022. Can't wait to get on some of the classics like the big one over there if it's open, Icon, Grand National, Infusion, Big Dipper and lots more. So we're going to head towards Icon first, so let's get on. So we've decided to have a ride on Avalanche before we go to Icon because the queue doesn't look too bad and I cannot wait to get on this. I haven't been on for ages and yeah, let's go. So that was an awesome ride on Avalanche. The first coaster I've been on for ages, and there's Revolution. Can't wait to get on that today. The backwards looping coaster after you've gone forwards. But next it's time for Icon. So excited to get back on Icon. It is hands down my favourite ride in the UK. It's just got so much going on. And the ride does... So just had an awesome ride on Avalanche. The first coaster I've been on for ages and it was an amazing ride. Can't wait to get on Icon though. It's hands down my favourite ride in the UK. And the queue doesn't look too bad. I think it's queuing from the... And the queue doesn't look too bad for Icon. It's probably queuing from like halfway. It's not on the steps. I think it's just through the building. A bit further down, maybe halfway down the pathway. But it's definitely worth it for Icon. Spinning seats on the back row. We'll see if we can get on there. It's going to be an awesome ride. Can't wait. There it goes. And the queue isn't bad at all. It's like halfway from the building. I'm so looking forward to this. First ride on Icon 2022. I cannot wait. Off they go for the launch. So we ended up queuing 15 minutes for steeplechase and I had a good ride. But next we're going to head over to the Big Dipper. My first ride on the Big Dipper is 2022. Can't wait to get back on it. Looks really good. And then we're probably going to do Revolution. We're going to do Avalanche, Icon a few more times. And maybe Infusion as well. So let's head towards the Big Dipper. So, decided to get in the queue for Infusion. Looks quite big, but you know, it's worth it. I love this ride. One of my favourites. Oh, don't go under there. And yeah, we're probably looking for a 30-minute queue, perhaps. But let's see how it goes. Let's get on Infusion. So we've been in the queue for about 30 minutes for Infusion and we're just heading into the station. It's not too bad for a queue, probably the longest queue we're going to get all day, and then we're going to try Big Dipper and then go get some lunch. We thought we'd stop for another ride on Icon before we go for dinner because it's got a very small queue. So let's head on Icon. It's queuing just out of the building, so 5 minutes maybe? We'll see where it goes. Because it's definitely worth it for Icon. I've said this before, I just love Icon so much. So we ended up queuing about 5 minutes for Icon. We got some lunch, got some fish and chips, and now we're in the queue for the Big Dipper. Currently been queuing a couple of minutes and we're at the back of the queue basically. A couple of people behind us, but with the capacity of the Big Dipper, I'm thinking another 10-minute wait, which isn't too bad for this classic ride. As you can see, world record was held on the Big Dipper. It's quite a fun ride, quite rickety, and yeah, can't wait. So we ended up queuing around 30 minutes for the Big Dipper. So it wasn't too bad, but next I think we're gonna go on the Avalanche again and Icon a couple more times because they are the best, and also Revolution. We're gonna have a go on there, so see how it goes. So we're currently heading up the stairs to Revolution. Can't wait to get on this ride. I haven't been on for ages. It looks very nice. I love the design for it. I love the layout. It's very simple but effective, like going backwards on the same loop. Just can't wait to get back on. So I'll get some off-ride POV from the launch and see you then. We ended up queuing less than 5 minutes for Revolution, which was really good for that amazing ride. I didn't get a shot of the station because we were straight on, but it was still a really good ride. Now we're thinking of heading to the Nickelodeon Streak. Small, underrated roller coaster in my opinion, but we're gonna go queue up for it, see how it goes. Here we have Avalanche and Revolution, Icon just behind, and views of the big one. It's a shame the big one isn't open. It's been 2 times now that when I've came that the big one has been closed. You're gonna expect high winds near the seaside, but maybe next time I come. Here's Revolution. The backwards looping coaster when you've gone forwards. It's so thrilling going backwards. And here is the Laughing Man. Founded in 1935. One of the oldest things at the Pleasure Beach. Looks kind of creepy in my opinion. But Revolution's going to launch off backwards, so I'll get a clip of that as it comes down. Off it goes. So it's currently 45 minutes before the park closes and we're on Icon again. Hopefully we get to go on Ice Pass before the end of the day. Probably another 20 minutes in this queue for Icon, then another 2 minutes for the ride, and then we'll head up to Ice Pass to try and get on that before the park closes. I think we've done a lot today and I'm really proud and I've just enjoyed it, being back at a theme park. The park has officially closed. We're in the queue for Icon, so final ride of the day is going to be Icon. We've done it about 4 or 5 times and I think we've done a lot today. I'll update you when we've been on Icon.